Hi, and welcome back to
Inspired to Game. I'm Sean.
And I'm Lola. If you like what you see here, please support our channel by subscribing down below.
And if you've already subscribed, hit the notification bell so you know when we drop a video.
Today we are talking about the Lacerda game On Mars.
Okay, we're talking about the game. It's called On Mars. We're not talking about a game while on Mars. Just to be clear.
Now, we have just got this game, and I can tell you I was so excited about this game. I've been wanting it since earlier this year, and it is a bit more of a pricey game, so it's kind of waited until my birthday. I picked it up in the summer when it was on sale somewhere, and I handed it to him, and I said, "This is what you're getting me for my birthday."
And strangely enough, she didn't forget that we had it somewhere.
And I waited and waited till the end of November until it finally came, and I've been so excited because I love all Lacerda games that I've ever played, and I love the theme of colonizing Mars kind of with a passion. So I was thrilled to get this game, and I was thrilled to play it, and I can say it's probably one of my, or possibly my top one favorite game ever. You can see the
Take
enthusiasm.
notes, because we might do another couples challenge, and I'll have to answer that question.
Now, before we give you a review on Mars, we'll give you a quick overview of how it's played. This is for people who are not familiar with the game, to let you know it is a heavier Euro game, so it is more complex than your average game. We are giving a very general overview so you have an idea of how it plays. On Mars is played in rounds consisting of a colonization phase and a shuttle phase. In the colonization phase, you get to do one action and one executive action on the side of the board you are on. If you are on the orbital side of the board, you get to do the actions on this side only. They consist of taking a pod down to the planet's surface, or you can place a colonist to take a blueprint to upgrade one of your buildings, or you can take a tech tile, or you can use a colonist to upgrade one of your already existing tech tiles, or you can gather supplies.
So if your marker's on the colony side, you're taking the actions in the colony itself, which consist of placing a colonist to construct a building, or placing a colonist to upgrade a building, placing a colonist to hire a scientist or claim a contract from Earth. You can also move your bot and rover, or you can welcome a new ship full of colonists to expand the colony. Now down here is the life support system. If you build a building that is part of the life support system, such as the generator, the water extractor, greenhouse, or oxygen condenser, you advance the token to the next level. If all four of these buildings have advanced to the level of the colony currently, the colony also advances. There are two other buildings you can build, the mine and the shelter. They are not part of the life support system, however.
So I've already said a few things about my feelings about this game. I knew I would love it, and oh my god, I did.
Surprise! I was right. So I guess that's over to me. So yeah, it was a little concerning at first, knowing that it is such a heavyweight game. I usually don't do well with them, but it's a little daunting at first to learn all the different iconography and all the different actions and the back and the forth. But once you get the hang of it, it's actually not that bad. It's the weight comes into the strategy more than anything else, and it is a really cool layout of strategy. It's not your normal worker placement where some of the actions you want to take don't actually take a worker. You can use those workers to boost that action and take it more than once. And then you do those things up in orbit, and then you move down to the planet, and those guys are still sitting up there waiting for you to come back and get them. So it was really fun to wrap my head around it and see all the different things that I could do, and cooperate a little bit to do things, to put different buildings out that eventually in the end I get to score, whether it's advanced by me or by Lola. And that's another neat thing to kind of wrap my head around. Of those scoring opportunities aren't locked into, I have to be the one that upgraded a building, I have to be the one that put that down or this down or the other. So in the end, it was really fun to learn, and a challenge to come up with a good strategy, and I really did enjoy it.
And I'm so thrilled with that, because usually when I introduce heavier games to him, he doesn't like them as much. I have a love affair with them.
Buries me much deeper than she did in this game.
One thing that's really, really amazing about this game, that I really love about it, there's not a cooperative element in the way that you're not playing cooperatively. We're each vying for our own points, but what we're doing together is working together. As we build our structures, it's not area control. I'm not owning the things I build, he's not owning the things he's built, and we get to work off of each other's advantages, like what we do. Say for instance, if I develop some tech or get it up high, he can actually use that. I can use his. I can take a scientist that can use his blueprint cards, so I can get the advantages of that. There's a lot of give and take, and there's a lot of working together, which really suits the theme well, because you would have to do that on Mars. The economy is pretty tight. You have to be very careful with your resources. Overall, I absolutely think this game is a work of art. The art in it is lovely, but it itself, the design, the precision, just how tight, just how everything fits together, it's honestly, I'm not joking when I think it's a masterpiece. Like, this is a brilliantly designed game, and it gets me so excited when I see these types of games that just, they have so much going on. Everything fits so perfectly. Like, honestly, like, the mind that can create this is just blows me away. Like, it's just it's absolutely amazing, and it's fantastic to immerse yourself in. There's so much going on all the time, a lot of different options. You have to time your travel well from your orbital actions into your colony actions, so that you can get the free rides up and down using the shuttle. So you're constantly thinking about, okay, when is it going to be going or coming? How many turns do you have here? Trying to get pretty much everything done, and there's so much you can do that you can play for like 3 hours, and it feels like it's been like 45 minutes, because it's just so much fun. And at the beginning, you are much more limited in what you can do, because it's just the beginning. You've got your first shelters, you've got your first structures, but then it gets really satisfying, because it is just one action a turn with also an optional executive action, but you don't have much that you can do in those executive actions until more are unlocked with doing the building upgrades and having extra executive actions in your blueprints, or also from welcoming ships. Whenever you do that, you get more executive actions that you can do. So it gets really juicy as the game goes on as well, because you can do so much more stuff. And of course, then by then you're also creating a lot more gathering more resources, and it just has that beginning of abundance feeling as the whole colony, the whole world is coming alive and starting to thrive, and you can get caught up in the excitement of that.
And it does really have a good feel for we are colonizing a dead world. So when you get there, everything's limited. Resources are limited. There's only a few buildings on the planet. And as you put more down, as you increase that level of the colony, more things are opening up, because now you're more of a self-sustaining colony. And it really does a good job of simulating that in a board game. As a matter of fact, I believe the board itself is supposed to be the screen of somebody, tracking the development of the colony. So even the layout and artwork is based around that. This is what we're doing here.
Yeah. So everything is intentional. Everything makes sense, right? So when I first learned the game, I probably spent an hour and a half one night, an hour and a half the next night working through it in 2 stages. I read it all and understood nothing. And so then I do the reread. And when I do a reread, and then I say, okay, now everything comes together, everything makes sense, and now I feel ready to teach it. But that's about 4 hours with a rule book in order to do that, 4 or 5 hours. And then the teach was like 2 hours long, just getting to the point where like, okay, now we're comfortable to start playing the game. So it's a lot because there's so much going on. But as Sean mentioned, is while you're playing it, it's actually quite simple. It comes together, everything makes sense, everything is intuitive once you understand what's going on. And that's part of what makes it so very elegant.
Elegant, I think, is a great word to describe it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've told you a lot of the stuff that we like. Is there actually any negatives that we want to... I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But,
I can't think of a single thing. I honestly can't. Absolutely nothing. It even fits on a Calyx, you know, barely, because it's a huge game.
Yeah, one of the things I love about it beyond the game is it has a great storage system. Everything fits in, and it actually even has a plastic lid so that once you've got everything in place, you put the plastic lid on. Now the board and the player board sit on top of it, and it keeps it all nice and tight. So if you're one of the crazy people like us that stores their games up on the side, things don't fall out and have to get chased. And I love storage systems like that. And so that's another big plus.
Yeah, and the components are lovely as well. Now this game, I was talking with somebody today on the BGG group, and they love Terraforming Mars. And if you've watched our videos, you know that I love Terraforming Mars. It actually used to be one of my all-time top 2-3 games, and it's still one that I very, very much love. But one thing I was saying to this person is you might like On Mars, because to me it's kind of like the next step. So you have to like a heavier game too, but it is there. I'm not comparing it as in they're the same game, because they're really not. They play very, very differently, but it captures a lot of the same spirit that Terraforming Mars is that I really loved. For me, what was exciting about that was it was really that the game was so exciting and thrilling, and I love the theme. So this has got the theme, but it's also got that same thrill and excitement with a lot more complexity of actions, a lot less luck based too, and higher strategy. And the higher the strategy, the kind of the happier I am. So if you like Terraforming Mars and heavy games, you might like On Mars. If you like any other Lacerda games, you'll probably like On Mars. This is definitely my favorite so far.
Play it. Think of it as a storyline. We're on Mars. We're colonizing it. Once we colonize it, then we get to terraform it. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. If you like the video, if you like what we're doing, please support the channel by subscribing. Check out some of our other videos, and thank you very much for joining us.
Happy gaming, folks.